Welcome back to Inside the Program, where each week we're bringing you an inside look of Virginia Tech football and the people that help contribute to success. Kendal Williams with Triumph NIL joined alongside head coach Brent. We're back from the bye week, getting ready to roll into week 8 by talking about the Virginia Tech football creative media team. Coach, I want to start out by talking about a big role these guys play, and that's creating the branding for your social media, right? Tell me about who's in charge of creating that kind of identity for your social media handles.
Yeah, so we've got a creative department that works closely with recruiting and our coaching staff. But Zach Lance, Michael Conway, Megan Bozzi, really important to what we do. Getting our brand, our message, our culture, what are we all about as a Virginia Tech football program? They help spread that word, spread that message on the recruiting front and the fan base front.
Your creative team also works hand in hand with Hokie Vision, the videography department here. Tell me about what they do for your program from a creative aspect.
Yeah, those guys are very valuable with all of the highlight videos, the content videos that come out post-game, come out pre-game, capturing historical moments. Really important to what we do. We do pride ourselves on being a transparent organization, and I think for our fan base, our recruiting prospects, to give as much exposure and an insider's look at what's happening in our program, to me that's a good thing.
Now from the photo aspect, Dave and his crew, they have a lot to capture, right? You guys from practice to meals to travel to games. Tell me about why it's so important that him and his staff capture everything that goes on in your program.
Yeah, Dave's been doing it a long time, first of all, and he was here when I was here on my first stint. I can't imagine the number of pictures he's actually taken, but does a great job. Some of the moments that are captured through photography, and I love it for our players. They love being able to see them doing big things and making big plays, and then on the it's the relationships. When we do Hokie Walk, when we do charitable events, whatever it is. These guys, are in the limelight a lot, and being able to capture their best side and their best qualities is pretty cool skill.
Talking about all these graphics and these videos and these pictures that are getting captured, all this media, there's one final step to that, and that's it actually getting shared with our fan base, right? Tell me about Megan Bozzi and what she does and her role.
Yeah, that's a 24/7 job. Social media doesn't shut down. Twitter doesn't turn off. Instagram doesn't turn off. And so she, it's pushing our content and making sure it's presented and represented the way it needs to be. It's monitoring what comes out of our football family, our staff, our players, that there's not something misspoken or misinterpreted, or it's a big job. And she's constantly vetting things with me. Is this how we want to say this? Is this what we want to say? When do we want this to go out? There's quite a few folks that analyze and follow everything that comes out of our department. And so we try and be pretty particular with what goes out, and that it's vetted, and there's a checks and balance, and Megan spearheads all that.
Coach, there's a lot out there that can be consumed about your program on social media. How do you make sure that you, as the head coach of this program, things are going out that you want?
Yeah, I spend a lot of time regarding our message, each and every week. And, it's important that we have weekly meetings. Every Sunday evening we meet and discuss the plan from our social platform for that week. What is the messaging? What's the narrative? How do we get it out? When do we get it out? All of that starts with me, but that supporting cast through creative media, really important to getting the message out the right way.
Coach, tell me about how this department plays such a big role in recruiting for you guys.
Yeah, the exposure nowadays. So many of these recruits learn a ton of information about program opportunities through social media. So what you capture, what you put out there, whether it's about your players, whether it's about your staff, whether it's about facilities, whether it's about your travel, whether it's about your wins, all of that, they're soaking that content up. And so it's very important to do a nice job on that front.
Coach, kind of going off of that question, tell me about how you and your coaching career have seen social media really impact the change of college football.
Yeah, there's just more eyes on everything now on a daily basis. And, there's always been criticism, there's always been praise, but it's so, it's right in front of those guys, our players' faces. So to not put too much into it, right? Be careful with the praise, be careful with the criticism. For everybody, I've always told guys, if you're going to read the good things, then be ready to hear the bad things too. But in today's times with name, image, and likeness, with our group Triumph, I mean, being able to talk about your brand and get exposure for our players, being able to be in front of the camera more often than ever is a real positive, and it wouldn't happen without social media.
Coach, finally, this department, they're with you all the time, day in and day out. You talked about Megan's 24/7 job, all these guys really working all the time. Tell me about why it's so important that they're embedded in your program.
Yeah, well, first of all, they're in our staff meetings, they're on our retreats to understand our culture and how we're doing things and what's important to Hokie football. They're part of that. And if they don't understand it, I don't know how they can message it. So very valuable. They're part of the family here. And like everybody else, their role is super important. And I think they take great pride in what they do, and I appreciate that.
Well, we're excited to see the Hokies back in action this week as they take on Boston College here inside of Lane Stadium this Thursday at 7:30 p.m.